Welcome to Mondays with Coach Rice. It's a brand new week, the sun's shining bright, a chance to cast your net, step into the light. Life's full of challenges, it's a winding stream, but with Coach Rice, you'll find your dream.
Good evening, my audience. I just want to thank you guys for listening and supporting me at all times. Happy Monday. I'm feeling a little better. I'm getting there. But I just want to say welcome back to Casting a Net. I'm your host, Coach Rice, your professional certified life and health coach and trained mental health counselor. Today, I have a special guest with me, Jay Gauthier. He is the founder of Audacious Faith Ministries. He's a pastor, he's a speaker, he's a podcaster. He also is a financial entrepreneur coach. He even, the name of his podcast is Audacious Faith. And so, Jay, I just want you to tell us share with us where you're from, and share a bit about what inspired you to go down the path that you took from a pastor to a financial entrepreneur coach.
Wow, that's a long story. And by the way, let me just say I'm so excited to be here with you and to be able to share today. And I appreciate the opportunity to share with your audience. I love what you're doing. I've been watching it and I'm inspired by it. So I'm in Southern California. I've been in Southern California all my life. And as far as being a financial type of coach, that's something that I never planned to do. But it was actually through difficult times in ministry that God kind of, I guess, kicked my tail right into it, you could say. I didn't understand it at the time, but I do know this, and that is that I've learned that God doesn't make mistakes. And I think that we learn that through unexpected turns, through going also into financial type of entrepreneurship. What God did was he took me out of just inside the walls of a church building where I would have spoken to. And instead, what ended up happening was now it branched me out where I have met, I guess you would say, thousands more than I would have. And so God knew what he was doing. And now I'm able to help people in multiple ways. It's all ministry wherever I am.
Right, so that's true.
So that's kind of, I'm thankful now, but it was never my plan, that's for sure.
Oh, wow. So you're teaching others how to get what they want, basically. Absolutely.
That's part of what we're supposed to do in finance with a financial plan. But I found that also relates to just life in general. And people are being in a situation where, I'll just start off by saying this. Part of the biggest problem of people not getting what they want is they have no idea what they actually want.
Right, that's so true.
and part of that problem is because they're asking the wrong questions. And the question that they're asking is, what do I want? When in reality, it should be, why did God create me and what does he want for me? That should be the real question.
So it's basically, all about purpose and so when you think about, when you mentioned it's because people don't know what they want. That's true, because if you without a vision, where you gonna go, right?
Right.
How do you help them find that purpose?
Well, I think part of it is the misunderstanding of vision. So for instance, you're probably quoting and referring where it says, without vision, the people perish. Yes. Or they cast off restraint. But vision is revelation. It's revelation that comes from God. So a lot of people will sit down and say, what's my vision for my life? Well, the Bible tells us that before he even formed us in the womb, he knew us. And he knew who he was going to create us to be, including with the gifts and the talents and everything that he was going to give to us specifically. So the truth is, in order to really step into what that vision is, it comes from God. And why did God make us to begin with? I can really simplify this. Okay. Somebody created silverware. All right. And I could have ice cream with a knife, but it doesn't work real well. You know, the knife wasn't created for that. It was created to cut steak and do things like that. So that's part of where we come in right from the beginning. Okay, God, what am I good at? What do I enjoy? You know better than anyone else because you made me. So that's the first step to getting what you want is asking the one who made you to begin with what that should really be.
Drop the mic. That's true. That is absolutely true. Because he's the creator. He knows the blueprint.
Exactly. So without, like you mentioned already, Coach, without knowing where you're going, you have no way to get there to begin with. Okay.
Yeah, you need a path. Yes.
Yeah. So that's step one. And then what we do from there is a lot of people then will get a vision for their life, but they have no idea how to get from point A to point B. And this is where most people get stuck. Okay. And so that's where I'll come along, or somebody else will come along, and what I'll say is getting to point A to point B, there's a formula. All right. And to travel down that road to get there, you need first of all, you need the right map. This is the formula. Okay. So I'll give you an example of this to keep it very simple. Let's say that you told me, one of the goals that I have in life, I'll just be happy if every day I can witness a beautiful sunset. Okay. It's a very simple goal, right?
Right.
And so I come along and I tell you, oh, that's simple. So every day around 5, 6 p.m., go look to the east. All right. Well, that's the wrong map. The sun sets in the west. So you can look to the east until you're blue in the face and you're never going to see it. All right. So it's important to get the right map, and in order to get from point A to point B. So in order to do that, there's 3 things, and we're going to use map as an acrostic here. Okay. So we're going to start with the M, and the M would be, first of all, you're going to have to find the right mentors. Okay. So who, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, who is it that knows how to do it because they've already done it?
Right.
Okay. So in biblical ways, we call this discipleship. If your listeners are like, well, the Bible's not really my thing, then fine, call it a mentor, whatever it is. But that's going to be step one. Who knows how to get there, and has done it, and is willing to teach you? All right. And if you don't want the result that person has, then they're the wrong one. So whatever area it is. So years ago, for example, they told me to go to the gym and to get a gym membership. And part of the perk of the gym was you got 6 free training sessions with a trainer. Okay. And so when you walked in, they said, well, what's your goal? What do you want? And I said, well, I want to get bulkier. I want to, build some muscles. I want to look stronger. And then they gave me this trainer, and all he wanted to do was work on core things and stuff like that, like your core, and which was never my strength. And I took a look, and he didn't look that big to me, and I saw this other trainer over there, and it's like, I want to look like that guy. Now I didn't get that guy, but part of my frustration was, if I wanted to look weak and kind of flabby, I've already spent 40 years of my life perfecting that. So I don't really need you to help me with that, because I'm already good at that. I want to be that guy. Okay. So how do I get like that guy? And so that's part of the thing. It's got to be the right trainer. It's got to be the right map. It's got to be the right mentor. Okay. And you can find that in different ways. So if it's a different, if it's in your church, if it's whatever, even today with our technology, we've got YouTube, we've got podcasts like yours, we've got, different opportunities where we can read books and we can see videos and we can listen to audiobooks and we can get for next to nothing, and in some cases even free, we can be learning from a lot of people that have already been there.
That's true.
Right. So even finances are not necessarily a complete limitation, because there are resources out there to help you start growing. Okay. And then after the right mentor, the A in MAP would be accountability. We need some accountability or it's not going to happen. We have, however old we are, as you know, we have that amount of years of experience of being exactly who we are right now. So if we're going to be different, then we're probably going to need accountability, because if it's just up to us, we're probably not going to change it.
Yeah,
And,
that's true.
right. So accountability, really simple thing. Very well-known program, for instance, is Weight Watchers. And Weight Watchers has been around. I'm 57 years old, and my mom was doing Weight Watchers when I was a kid. So it's been around for a long, long time. And, a lot of people, they like the program. I'm not endorsing it or not endorsing it one way or the other. But the one thing that I never really kind of understood was I would tell my mom, and then my wife eventually did it, although she probably won't be thrilled that I just said that. But I said, I don't get it. Once you know the program, once you know the points or whatever it is, why do you have to keep paying? You already know. Just follow the plan.
Just follow it, right?
Right. And she said, well, that's not it. What it is, I'm like, why do you go to these meetings? You don't even stay at these meetings most of the time. You just go in and check in, and then you leave. And she said, that's the thing. You have to go every week and step on the scale. I'm like, well, there's a scale in the bathroom. And she goes, yeah, but somebody else is looking at the scale, and you have to, and all of that. Because she don't let me look at the scale, but you know how it goes.
Yeah, it's very different.
Right. So it's that accountability. And of course, accountability often is fake because people lie. So it's got to be, real true accountability, where it's honest accountability. And you're held to account. So that would be the second one. And it could be, accountability comes in different ways. It can be, someone just checking on you. It can also be, a great thing about accountability is when others and their welfare depend on you achieving something.
Yes.
Right? Because
they have a buy-in.
Exactly. A lot of us will not do something radically different just for ourselves. That's not enough motivation in a lot of cases. So, for example, I might want to lose 30 pounds. I might love to lose 30 pounds. But if it means I can't eat what I really like and all that kind of stuff, I may or may not actually do the discipline that's needed to actually lose the 30 pounds.
Right.
However, if I'm going to end up having a heart attack, and I'm going to end up being in a situation where I can't be there to watch my daughter walk across the aisle in a wedding, that may be enough accountability now to get me to change.
Yes.
Right? Because now it matters more about somebody else is depending on it. Okay. And I don't want to let them down. So sometimes accountability requires it being more than just you. In fact, often it requires being more than just you. You hearing me?
I hear you now.
I have a little connection problem. I'm not sure what end it's on, but yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's got, often we need to attach something bigger
Right.
to it. And then the last one on the P would be prayerful purpose.
Mm.
All right. And I add prayerful. Now, if they're not a praying person, well, at least then have purpose. But to me, it's prayerful purpose because I I want to know, again, I want God to keep reinforcing what that is. And so and I got to pray about it often. We have to understand that often this journey from point A to point B is not just overnight. It's not like putting popcorn in a microwave and 3 minutes later it's done.
Right.
It could be years in some cases. So if we look in the Bible, for example, Joseph was given a huge vision that God gave him, and he had to go through a lot of garbage in order to get there, but that was the path.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, he went through
He did. He went through family hurt and
everything.
deception. He got accused of things he didn't do. Oh yeah.
Exactly. The whole path. And so we have to understand that the path from point A to point B, the path from where God gives us the vision of where we're going to actually getting there, may be a very windy and twisted and difficult road. And that's why all those other components are going to have to be there along the way. But in the end, what did Joseph do? He literally saved lives, and it was huge. And everything that God showed him in the beginning actually happened, but not in a way that he ever would have been able to realize how to get there.
So true. So true.
So that's how to get what you want. Know what it is in alignment with God, and then God will take you down the journey through those components to get there. And that's really the simple, long and short
That's
of
the
it.
simple.
I will
Yeah.
be expanding this out into, I'm actually working on a book on this right now. But
That's amazing.
but yeah, I kind of like that because it's kind of
And you,
where some of my journey has gone in through life. I've seen God take this process, and because of that, now I get to try to share that with others.
yeah, he does that to me as well. I definitely can relate to all of what you're saying, and I definitely agree with it. And you're right, the prayer part is so key because along the journey, you have to continue to ask God to keep you on the path and to help you listen to him because you get so many distractions along the way. And
Absolutely.
that would kill your dream if you allow it. But God's purpose will prevail, but it will definitely you will go through a lot more than what you have to without staying on the course. But you will, you're always going to learn and grow. So tell us about your book you just launched.
Yeah. So what happened back in 2020? Of course, everyone knows 2020 was one of the craziest years of our life, and I was there, with COVID. We actually shut down our live services with the church for about 2 months. At that particular point, we were online only. And as we went to get people back in, what started happening was that a lot of people, the people that you would expect that had the least amount of risk, they stayed home, you know, and the people that were at the most risk, they were in there as soon as the door would open.
Mm,
And I remember being kind of really disillusioned and saying to God before going to bed one night, I just, how am I going to, what do you want me to do? I mean, people aren't coming back. I want to reach people. I know this is what you want. And basically the message I got was, well, if they're not going to come to you, go to them. So we launched an online
mm.
podcast. It turned out being called Audacious Faith Podcast. It's on YouTube and other platforms. And I had no idea what God was doing when we did it, but it's something that now there's about 128 episodes currently. And it's kind of an expanding ministry platform. So out of that, I recently wrote a book called the Audacious Faith Playbook. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a playbook. So just like in life, if you're on a football team and you have a certain game situation, the coach calls a play. It could be an offensive play, it could be this defensive, it could be a sweep to the right, or a long bomb, whatever it is. And so God had kind of over through the years of ministry, I've been in ministry for a long time. There's been certain messages and certain themes and that, he's had me visit over and over again through the years that have really stood out. And so basically this book compiles 14 of the major issues that we face in life. And we put it together in this playbook. And right now we're just about to release a companion guide that'll go with it, which allows people to work on it, break it down a little more of each chapter for 5 days, and then come together and do a group session as well in each one of these chapters. And so that's kind of like what we're putting out there. And we're just trying to expand this. We're turning Audacious Faith into a movement, because I think that God's looking for those who have the audacity to believe that God put them on this earth for more than just to exist, but to make a difference in the world around them. And that's basically the mission of what we're talking about here.
And you couldn't be more on target now than ever, because when, like you said, when COVID hit and the churches started, when people started coming back, it's been hard to get them back in, actually in the church. So you have to go out.
Right.
And you have to go get them. You have to send a message, because it's like, it's not even about COVID. It's about, wow, we adjusted to this. We adjusted to something new. We don't need to be sitting in a gathering together.
Exactly.
That's how people are looking at it now. Why should we gather together? We fine, but actually it's a powerful thing to gather together. So you have to get them back together in a new way.
Exactly. And I think what a lot of people don't realize, you're touching on something so important. A lot of people don't realize that when God says not to forsake the assembling of yourselves together, it's not just for you, but it's because you're supposed to be a blessing to others as well. And it's hard to do that on the couch,
Right. And that's the problem. Like, we are created to be connected. And a lot of times we're not made to be in isolation. And for some reason, I don't know how. Well, I know how, but for some reason we have adjusted to sitting in isolation. Even though it's dysfunctional, we still are okay with it. A little too okay.
It's sad. I think part of it's the electronics, even though the electronics
it's electronics, it's the social distancing. It's also the phones.
Right. There was a time early on with text messaging that I thought text messaging is so dumb. I resisted it, and it's like, just I want to talk to you on the phone.
Right.
And I will confess now, sad as it is, that when I see somebody call me, we have caller ID because now we know who's calling us, right? And I look at it's like, why are you calling me? Just
text me.
What do you want? Just send me a text so I know whether I want to talk to you or not. And that's not right.
I have not adjusted to text, but I'm not gonna lie. Call me. I like to visit. I like to touch. I want to see you. I want to see
correct. Yes, you're on the right track. It's people like
I want to see you. I want to dialogue with you. That's what I was like. I didn't like doing the podcast with just me talking. I want to talk. I want to dialogue with somebody.
Exactly.
But
and see, this type of medium I love, but it's just those random calls. And I think I've had to correct myself, saying, hey, quit being so antisocial. We're supposed to be connecting with people.
And you have to. I had to adjust to the fact that, well, I'm an extrovert, so I love being around people. I had to actually readjust, and say, wait a minute, how can I actually network? Because I couldn't stand Facebook.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand Instagram. Just to post on it used to make me cringe.
Yeah.
But now I love the fact that I'm meeting so many amazing people like yourself and my other people I've talked to on the podcast. I would never have ran into in life.
Right. No, that's the great thing about this. I mean, here we are. I don't know where you're located, but we're not
San Antonio, Texas.
Okay, so we're halfway across the country from each other, but we're able to connect right here like this. So that's
Exactly. It's
great.
amazing. And I saw you going to Life Surge, right? Or you already
Yes.
been?
Yeah, I'm going to go to Life Search. I have not been before, but
Well,
I'm
you
looking
got a
forward.
treat. You got a treat. I ain't gonna tell you about it, but you actually have a treat.
Yeah, that's coming up in just a couple of weeks, I think. So yeah.
It's well worth every penny.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Looking forward to
Yeah.
it more
So
now.
yeah, so I definitely want to get your links so I can put them in my links to how to get to your book. Definitely have to check out the playbook.
That would be
Excited
great.
for you. I'm so excited that you got it out. I'm so excited that you're walking in your calling and you helping others to do the same. You could tell the audience how can they reach you.
Well, they can reach me at any time right here on Facebook. I'm a Jay Gauthier Senior. Okay. I'm also on Instagram by the same name. You can also look us up on YouTube on the Audacious Faith Podcast. And we also have Audacious Faith Podcast on Instagram as well. If you want the book, it's available on Amazon. Just look up the Audacious Faith Playbook. I will send you the link so that you can post them, but it's a very easy way to find it. And also you can send me a message if a person wants to be in the Audacious Faith Facebook group. We do have that as well.
Okay.
And I'm going to be launching, when the companion thing comes out, I'm going to be launching when they do the group thing, I'm going to do an online group, free, completely free, where I will lead it actually once a week. And we can go through it together if anybody wants to be on it together. And a little hint in there, I will be looking for partway through those who might want to be facilitators in groups like that in the future to be able to then spread that movement going.
Oh, I like that. Like a Bible study group.
Right. And we'll be looking for those who then will multiply it out. So
that's amazing. That's amazing. Well, I am so glad that you have come on the show. I'm so glad to have you. I'm glad to have met you. Oh my God. This has been wonderful. You have brought some, really good tactics, the steps to take. Simple, very simple. And you are so right. Mentorship is key. Accountability and prayer. All of those. MAP, the acronym for MAP, easy breezy, but we need it. We need to have that to move forward. We cannot do this on the island alone.
Absolutely. And by the way, again, I appreciate everything you're doing. And I just pray for the best of continued impact. I love your new podcast title. It was Casting the Net, right?
Casting the Net, yo.
I love
the
that.
Lord gave me that.
I absolutely love that. I think that's a great title, and I love what you're doing. So I'm going to continue to follow everything you're doing as well.
Oh, thank you so much. And to my listeners, if this has been a blessing to you, please share. Do share with anyone who you think can benefit. And also subscribe so you can see what's coming on, because I have some wonderful people coming on that's giving out amazing information to help you, just like the group that he has. I'm gonna put the link in the YouTube video, because I want you to have what you need. Your well-being is our passion. So just thank you so much for coming on. We are signing off. Just continue to follow us as we continue to do what we do, because we love you guys and we want the best for you guys. And I just want to say happy Monday. Enjoy your evening.
So join us now, let's make life suffice. Welcome to Mondays with Coach Rice.